Hello all, welcome to the JavaScript for Pentesters course on Pentester Academy. In this video, we will look at the solution for task 3, which is hijacking a form submit. So let's jump right in. Now let's first inspect this form. Now if we look at the HTML, it is super clear that this is the only form on the page, and the first form element is actually the email address or the username really, and the second form element is the password, right? Now what we would need to do is first add an event handler which ensures that when the form is submitted, our code is called. So let's jump right in. Now this would be accomplished with a document forms. Now there's only one form, so we can reference it with form 0, and then on submit would basically call our code, and let's call that intercept form. We're going to define this function in just a bit. So function intercept form, here we go, code is going to go in here, right? Now what we want to do is pick up the username and password, and that should be easy, where username equals, again let's reference this by document form 0, and then we have elements, and this is the first one, so element 0 dot value, right? And then you have var password. You just copy this out, make this elements 1, right? That is the only critical difference. Let's first verify this works. So let's do a quick alert of username plus password. There you go. And let me copy this out. Let me go back in here. Let's go to our friendly little URL encoder. Let's encode this. Go back here. If you remember, we have the URL parameter through which we can do an injection. Just paste it in there. Page loads. Vivek@securitytube.net. Super secretive password. And if you notice, the username and password has been picked up, right? Which means our code is working perfectly. Fantastic. Now the last part, which is really going ahead and posting this to an attacker server, is also something which is actually trivial and which we've covered. Let's open up a new window. So Python m simple HTTP server. Let's run it on port 9000. Right, and go back in here. You can remove this line and replace this with new image. So this is what we've already covered in JavaScript for pen testers, the theory. I would highly recommend you revisit it if you've forgotten what we did back then. And you have HTTP localhost, port number is 9000, followed by username equals, right, username, and ampersand password equals plus password, and this should be it. Copy this out and basically take it back here to our URL encoder. paste it, verify it real quick. Seems okay. Encode it, go back in here, rather go back here, paste, here we go. Let's do a demo, and then basically password would be password. Click on sign in, right? If you notice, nothing really changes from the user's perspective. He's still on Pentester Academy lab.appspot.com. But when we go here, of course, there's a broken pipe, don't worry. But if you notice, here is what we see, right? Get question mark username is demo and password equals password. Now the attacker, of course, would have a full-fledged server which would service this request. Just taken a bare bone one here. But the point to note here is we've pretty much hijacked the entire form submission process and ensured that the username password gets submitted to our server first before it is taken to the original destination, right, which is the actual web server. Fantastic. So try this out. This is a very interesting and important exercise, and this is something very interesting to demo per se, especially from a proof of concept perspective. Let's say if you found an XSS in the login form itself, right? A lot of times the username field can get reflected back, and that's an excellent place to inject this JavaScript. So that's all I have in this video. If you're enjoying your time here at Pentester Academy, then we would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and colleagues in the InfoSec community. Thank you.